There is dancing in heaven today, and Zarina wants us to dance in church.
Always.
Go for it, Zarina.
I can't dance like that.
She's not ready to dance. Today, there is dancing in heaven. It is an amazing day when music fills the sky beyond anything we can ever imagine. Dancing. So when I was a child, actually before him, my mother was a physical educator back in the 50s and the 60s. And one of the jobs of a physical educator back then, and some of you may remember this, I'm afraid to say, is that she had to teach her students how to dance. Kind of amazing, right? She also had to teach them how to, and she did, it was all girls PE. She taught them how to play football. She taught them how to play softball, all kinds of sports, but she also had to teach them how to dance. When I was a kid, I said, okay, it's time, teach me how to dance. See, Zarina, I do dance.
Not that I've ever seen.
No, you're right. You are right. You haven't seen it, but I do dance. And she had a record. Do you remember those records? And a record player. And one time she put it on there for me and she started to play a waltz. And that waltz became my favorite dance with a box step. Things that I remember learning from way, way, way back when. And all I remember was dancing and being consumed by its joy and its beauty. For a waltz is what's called a roll and a revolving dance. And the two partners are close. The hand is out here and either on the back or on the shoulder. And the eyes are locked. And off they go. And one of the things about this dance is that it is between the two people who are dancing, no one else. So those who are watching the dance can also be assumed into the dance. They begin to see that they are more, that this dance goes beyond them, the two. So those who are watching this dance, those who continue to sway to that music, there is no separation. They just dance. In the 13th century, the waltz was designed and developed by the musicians in Austria. As we know, Austria was at that time a center of arts and literature and music. And out of it came this thing called the waltz. And it wasn't liked by the church, as we all know. Frivolity wasn't liked very well, but people loved it. And so the church started to step back from any prohibition, and it spread all throughout Europe. And the Salzburg waltz, that some of you may know, is still the most famous and enjoyable dance of waltz in the world, except when you go to Australia and you find the waltzing Matilda. The dance. In that time that my mother was teaching me how to dance, there was a song by Anne Murray. Some of you may remember. Can I have this dance? And it was a waltz that you could just sit there and dance to. It was a story of love, a story that you could just see the two partners who are doing this waltz focus so closely into one another that they knew nothing but the other. Nothing but the other person to whom she was singing, and their eyes locked. And there was nothing that could distract them. But as the song goes on, as all songs do, it names that sometimes even that dance, that beautiful dance, that waltz that they were focusing on, that toes can be stepped on. That a misstep may happen. One goes left and the other goes right. That there are challenges in this dance, even in a waltz. And that challenge, that struggle, even we could say suffering, was then brought back and taught encouragement, taught character, said that there is hope no matter what, that those steps, all that rhythm that continues to move around the dance floor will come back into step. Amazing how that happens. A dance that was meant to be danced, even with a few bobbles, even with a few missteps, the dance is found once again. Yes, there is dancing in heaven today. And today, James and Abba bring Tanner to a dance. They bring Tanner to a dance to see and look into the eyes and into the love of God. For this dance, the waltz, is a triplicate. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Imagine that on this day. Imagine seeing this most beautiful dance when the God just continues to dance for us, but with one another. And this day, you bring him to look into those eyes of God, to see the twirling, to see the beauty, to see the most amazing dance ever known. When you look into the eyes of God, as God seeks for us to see as they dance around this ballroom called the world, called eternity, look into the waters of baptism. You look into this reflection of God that Tanner will be made one with today. As we welcome him into the household of God, it is a dance in its fullness. And the gift of this dance that God has, they never get out of step. That's what's so amazing about God, is the steps of this waltz are always in tune, so that when we struggle, so that when he suffers, so that when he is trying to pull himself together, he has an image of God always in front of him. That we have the most amazing image of the most amazing love, of the most amazing hope that comes through all adversity to follow and to return to. And that dance will never end. That Anne Murray song that continues to come to my mind all day, that my mother taught me all those years ago. The name of it is, "Can I Have This Dance for the Rest of My Life?" Amen.